Hello, good evening, and a warm welcome to you. Welcome back to Competitive Speed Series. My name is Frostbreath, or Rob, and I'll be your commentator once again for tonight. We have already arrived in round number 4. Things are really going quite fast, actually. As you can see right here on the calendar, we have reached another track where the walls are very close to the asphalt. We have reached Azerbaijan. Many 90-degree corners coming up. The famous castle section, not to forget that one. 20 corners and a very, very long straight. 2 DRS zones, of course, don't forget it. And I feel like there's going to be plenty of chaos tonight, judging by what we saw in Saudi Arabia last week. That should be no problem whatsoever. Now, normally, I would introduce you to my face to a new face cam I've gotten myself. But the software decided to be a little bit uncooperative. I saw that the background I wanted to add behind my face doesn't really work at the moment for some reason. I tested it thoroughly. It worked before just fine, and now it just doesn't. So, unfortunately, that isn't happening unless something miraculous happens right now. It doesn't actually, no. You can actually see my own room in the background, and I don't really fancy that. So we'll switch to the standings straight away. We're also on our way to the lobby at the moment. You can see Team TF10 with a healthy lead. 145 points, almost 60 points clear from the next 2 teams, in fact. Points, 88, then followed by Zenith, or actually ZNT, 85, 3 points behind them. There's equal points between CPI, TTM as well. ABS and FVR very close together, as are TGF and EVE. So a lot of close fights going on tonight. And things might heat up properly then here in Azerbaijan. There is still, unfortunately, the F1 World cars being used, so forgive me if I come across as a little bit confused when trying to find cars on the minimap. Also forgive those who will get double stacked by someone who's not their teammate. It's most likely going to happen again tonight. We're going to have to sit through it now. I believe that is 1 car. 2 cars leaving the pit lane already. Let's find out who they are as they are exiting right now. That's Mark Schluter, first and foremost, followed by Tristan de Baku for ZNT. Of course, Mark Schluter with the very fancy ZNT, or ET8 livery, sorry. In my opinion, one of the prettier liveries on the grid tonight. As you can see, there was ghosting going on everywhere. That means collisions are off at the moment. That means no toes, no slipstream benefits, no teamwork, then everybody is on their own. So that means there will be a restart after qualification. And after that there will be a huge race coming up. And I'm looking forward to see what will happen there. 1 minute 38, 37 perhaps somewhere. That should be a doable lap time, I suppose. I'm entirely familiar with the lap times on the new game at this track. It's barely getting raced on, especially in open lobbies. It's a rare track, I believe. It's actually also the first time I'm commentating on this track. At least from what I can remember. Azerbaijan, Baku city, the capital of the country actually. Schluter appears to be in quite a hurry as he moves around the final, or one of the final proper corners. Turns 18 and 19 is still coming up, and there's very tiny bend to the right coming up right here. That is turn 20, and then the lap is going to start for Mark. You saw the battery light still flashing. I think it's crucial to decide when you actually turn your ERS on, because it will only last a full lap and you might run out of juice before you reach the finish line next time round. So we'll follow the German for a little while here. Won the first race of the season. And currently his team is fighting with the defending champions for 2nd place. NLR started off quite mediocre-ish, and now they are pretty much back on it. But TF10 at the moment appears to be untouchable. So let's see what the other teams can bring to the table tonight. TF10 tonight with Timur Zelenkiewicz and Daniel Gottschalk. One familiar name for me and one name entirely new. ET8 with, of course, this man here, Mark Schluter, and Alan Banachak. Another new name there. Ooh, very tight through the castle section. Mark Schluter's right on it, drifting through it, in fact, as he exits turn 11. Coming out of turn 12 right there. And then flat out through the next 2 corners, 13 and 14. Then there's, of course, the almost 90-degree left-hander here, turn 15, as we reach the end of the second sector. Max then once again on the throttle. And then the end of sector 2 is going to be a 1 minute 13.690 as he comes onto the main straight. A few more corners to go, but you can easily take them flat out if you do it well. And without front wing damage, it should be easily done so. Of course, there's the famous wall to the left right here, where the open lobby drivers tend to crash a lot. But not Mark Schluter. He's going to turn in a nice lap time here, a 1 minute 38.1. Not too far off my predictions. So 1 minute 37 should be possible tonight. Tristan Derbicourt 38.2. And now I'm trying to figure out who is on his way at the moment. Toppa has invalidated his lap. He of course got screwed big time by the double stack issues of F1 World Cars last week. So he'll be back with a vengeance. FVR still not doing well in the standings. They've had their strokes of bad luck as Adam Crestan now goes fastest overall with a 37.6. There is Lighty with a 37.6 as well. We're following Tim Tornimo at the moment. He's on his way as well as he has through the castle. Everybody's going very tight. There's a bit of a debris on the floor right there on the ground. Damage their front wing. One driver remains in the pit lane. It's Mr. Hollywood once again with an incorrect name or gamer tag. And once again giving his team another penalty. Apparently he's aware. But he hasn't changed it nonetheless. There's a dark green car ahead of Tim. That's Jans Verdillik for CPI. As Exavox now goes fastest with a 37.6 as well. So the top three all within the same 1/10 of a second. There's damage there to the car of Jan. So that's the debris we saw. There was Tim Tornimo about to cross the line. There he goes. 38.7. Oof. That's a 30... that's not very fast at the moment. So Tim on the back foot for the defending champions. His teammate Adam Crestan second at the moment, doing a lot better then. And I believe Toppa is about to head in. Yep. Jacob then for TGF. The only driver for TGF, so it's a bit disappointing to see the two teams lowest in the standings, only with one driver on their lineup tonight. Not sure what's going on with both teams. Should probably pick it up fast, otherwise they'll be too far behind very soon. We're about a third of the way in. We're actually 1/3 of the way in fact. Out of 12 rounds, almost 4 rounds finished. This is the 4th one. And after this one, we'll have a mystery Grand Prix. That's always promising. Jacob then through the castle section. Let's see what he can bring to his team. Right now, they're only 2 points ahead of Eversio Racing for 9th in the standings, and then they're almost 40 points behind the next team. That's actually not that big of a gap, considering you can get loads of points if you finish first. 35, in fact. 14.4 through the middle sector. That's about a second slower than Mark Schluter at the moment. TGF, at least Jacob, not doing that great, but his battery light is flashing as well. So I wonder if this lap is really a pushing lap. He is still staying out, so I guess that's a yes. Hello Nevio, welcome to the stream. And that's a 39.5. Ouch. Not where you want to be. Almost a second behind the next car of Tim Tornimo. Who's still heading in at the moment. There you go. Several cars on their way. Lighty for TTM. Less than a 10th away from provisional pole position. That was Toppa in the background, I believe, coming out quite wide out of turn 2. Hopefully no damage to the car. Might have made a mistake there. On an out lap. You don't want that to happen. And Mr. Hollywood is out. Oh, he's crashed. Oh, he's actually crashed. Let's see if I can find somebody who's close by. Don't think I can. There's too many black dots on the minimap, so we're just going to switch to Boba. Nope, the car's already gone. Crashed in turn 15. Not surprising. That's a very nasty corner if you get it wrong. So one of the backmarker team is almost a second slower in qualifying. The other backmarker team is pretty much out as Mr. Hollywood has crashed. I just got confirmed in the chat that his name is fine now. Of course, Steam is very slow on updating it, so that's on me. Boba, I know it will be quite quick, but right now he seems to be struggling a little bit. About 8/10 slower than provisional pole. Let's see if he can find his lap time in the second attempt. 9.5 minutes remaining. Time flying, actually. And of course, in the chat there, Maximilian Lukert for FVR. Unless we get back-to-back double podiums, we might be cooked. I hope for your sake that will not happen. The cooking thing, at least, then. Not the back-to-back podium. That would be good. Good for the team. Good for the championship, too. At the moment, TF10 is dominating. Right now, they're drivers 4th and 5th for the moment. There's still many attempts to come. Boba then, 1.5 tenths slower through the first sector. On his way through the second one right now, exiting turn 6. 38.4. 0.07 of a second slower than... Whoa, Alan! Very feisty through the castle section. In fact, the front wing didn't like it at all. Going too wide there, and that's his lap over. Boba under pressure, it seems. And they're struggling quite a bit. Topper then, first sector purple. The other FVR driver. Now the pressure is on him. The famous, very pink livery. That castle section for him went quite well. ERS off through it to make sure the wheel spin is limited as much as possible. Very wise decision, actually. So, Topper then. Let's see what he can do through the middle sector. As in turn 15, all is still well. Another nasty corner there. Look at this, 1 minute 12.7. That's very fast. He might be on his way to provisional pole position here. It's still in the hands of Exafox. Adam Christan has started hot lap. Naskai for TTM has turned in a third fastest lap time. 200 quicker than Lighty, his own teammate at the moment. So occupying the second row right now, TTM. But Topper is going to put in an absolute flyer, I feel like. Oh, 37.573. Once again, the man is on top of it. He's definitely living up to his name, that's for sure. There's Adam Christan. We're following him right now. Neskai has just finished his lap, of course. 33 milliseconds faster on his way. He's almost a tenth slower right now than Topper. 99 milliseconds to be precise. Indeed, it is a short qualifying. Ooh, another front wing smashed by the castle section, and this time it's Adam Christan. But Jeremy Gallagnier in the meanwhile for ZNT. Going fastest overall by quite the margin, well over a tenth quicker than Topper, and now he occupies provisional pole position for his team, and that will be good news for Zenith. His teammate at the moment sitting in P10. It's an all French lineup for the team. I feel like a lot of drivers in ZNT are French. Couldn't help but notice that one. Daniel Gottschalk about to cross the line. Never mind, he's going back in. 10th fastest at the moment. I'm trying to find somebody else who's close to the line. That's Pascal Ranielli for ABS. His teammate currently third fastest. He's sitting 10 positions lower. Not where you want to be. 36 milliseconds through sector 1. ABS, of course, one of the veteran teams. Already a little bit in the middle of the pack. A little lower than probably what I would like to be, or expect to be. Ooh. The castle section is so tight, but his front wing at least is still in one piece. He stays within the white lines, and all is well in the car. Ahead of him, Boba on another outlap. He wants to find some more lap time, still hasn't found it. Boba at the moment. I'm surprised by his pace. I don't think this track really suits him then. TF10 got two drivers actually. It's Daniel Gottschalk in 10th and Timur Zelenkovic in 4th. There goes Pascal Ranielli. Boba ahead. Of course, no slipstream from the ghosted car. And that means Pascal's got it all to do on his own power. Across the line. 37.8. It's a lot better actually. And up to P10. 2 milliseconds faster now than Daniel Gottschalk in 10th. Or 11th, sorry. Means we can actually switch our attention once again to the man in the blue car. That's Boba, of course. We see a pink car about to cross the line. No, he's actually entering the pit lane. CPI driver sitting in P8. His teammate still with a lap time to set. Still behind Mr. Hollywood, who has retired due to a crash. So Jan has to find some time now. 4.5 minutes remaining. He's on an outlap at the moment. I feel like this is his one and only attempt that's going to count. That's for sure. Back to Boba then for FVR. His teammate now in third as Lighty has gone second fastest. 1 millisecond quicker than Toppe. These two are in a close combat at the moment. Exafox sitting in third right now. Just ahead of Zelenkovic. Tristan in P6, Naskai 7th, Isaac Lead P8, Mark Schluter in 9th, and then Pascal Ranielli in P10. But with Boba still on the way, where can he put his car? 1 minute 12.7 was Toppe's lap time. Ooh, he's slower actually through the middle sector. Boba is not having a good day. He's absolutely not having a good day. So it's a bit of a double feeling, I think. A mixed bag for FVR. They've got Toppe, who is very quick, as we can expect from him. But there's Boba, who's surprisingly not on the pace. Even the safety car is ghosted. Well, that's something. Jans Verdillik on his way for his last and all-important attempt at a hot lap. Sitting in last position, his teammate in P8. And here he goes then. Let's actually follow him on board. We haven't watched any on-board footage yet on this track as he now approaches the second 90-degree corner. The first 4 are 90 degrees. You've got to love it. Either that or you absolutely hate it. As we watch the poll right now, which team takes pole? Is it FVR or TF10? It's a tie between FVR and TF10. Frankly, neither of the teams are on pole. In fact, TF10 is furthest away from pole at the moment, with Timur in P5. Toppe is in third, and ZNT, with no votes, have their man on provisional pole now. But then again, there's still all to play for in their final attempt. Everybody is coming out. Some are still waiting until the very last moment. Whoa! That's an epic slide through the corner. It's a miracle that lap didn't get invalidated, because I'm sure he went at least several wheels off the track. Wow, he's absolutely struggling majorly, and that's his lap over. His tires were so hot there, I think. Just melted, no grip anymore. Jan pushed a little bit too hard, but if he cools down quickly now, he's got less than 2 minutes. Should be more than enough to get another hot lap in. But this time, I hope it's not going to be too hot for his tires, because he needs to put in the effort now to get ahead of Mr. Hollywood at least. Jacob now has improved to a 1 minute 38, but it's only a 38.9. It's still half a second away from the next car. And he's not coming out. I think Jacob is done for. Looks like TGF and EVE will once again be battling at the back of the field. Very unfortunate. Alan Christian, the first of the final attempts. Would have been Jans Verdillik. He's actually coming in. Probably damaged his car somewhere then. So that's Jan out. Starting last. Not ideal, to say the least. And Chris, which is a candidate for provisional pole. And his team will need it. They have the title in their hands from the previous season. And that means they'll have to show now why they were the champions last time round. 1/10 quicker through the first sector. That is promising. At the moment, that will bring him equal with Lighty. It's strong then. What can he get more? What more can he find? Oh, that's the wall he found. But it looks like, at least from a visual standpoint, the car is fine. He went a little bit off the white lines there, but it wasn't an invalidation. The track limits here are a little bit flexible, I feel like. And Alan Christian knows where they go. Whoa, that's the pole. And I think that is literally a pole, and this figurative pole flying out of his hands. He's still quicker though, and now he's got a broken front wing to go faster on the main straight. Interesting. I'm sure that's not an actual tactic, but it might work in his favor now, as the checkered flag comes out, and Adam Christian is about to cross the line. I wonder if he's going to finish his lap. He was still quicker through the middle sector, despite the destruction of the track and his car. He goes second fastest. Wow. He's gained another 3/100ths of a second on the main straight due to his front wing. We're watching Topper right here, but he's not the next car to cross the line. I'm desperately trying to find it. There we go. Another black car is crossing the line. That's Daniel Gottschalk, only 7th fastest at the moment, TF10. Whoa, there's Isaac Lead out of nowhere, 37.429, but there's many cars crossing the line still. Naskai is next, he doesn't improve, stays 9th fastest. There's another white car on the way. It's not Tristan Debecourt, is it Exafox? It is Exafox. Is he going to put in a flyer? People are praying for him on pole position. No, he can't do it. Stays 3rd fastest, but he gets very close, so 37.4 as well. I believe that was Mark Schluter crossing the line in P10. There's one definitely recognizable car. That's Topper. What can he do? I think he's going to put in a mighty lap, and he does! 1 minute 37.235. That is FVR on top for now. Is somebody else still on his way to improve? Well, Jeremy couldn't improve. He did improve, but it was not good enough. He stays on the front row, though. Is Lighty still on his way? He still is too. Well, almost 3/10 quicker. Is Lighty then going to spoil the pole and the FVR party there with Topper on top? What can Lighty do? This might be his moment to shine for TTM as he goes across the line. I believe his steering wheel says P2. It does P2. He does beat Jeremy Gallagher to the front row, but he does not beat Topper for pole position. And that means, once again, Topper showing he's the fastest of the lot, but Lighty comes awfully close. I think these two might have a race-long scrap with each other. But look at Jeremy Gallagher also within 1/10 of a second. Then Isaac Lead in 4th. Very strong performance from him. Exafox in P5 then. Adam Kristan for NLR in P6. Zelenkovic 7th. Alan Benachak in P8. Nice job from him. Aboa finally finding his groove in P9. And Daniel Gottschalk on the bottom of the top 10. The rest of the field looking like this. With Mr. Hollywood and Jan Sverdelik not setting a lap time. 13 milliseconds is what separates the above two, so to say. On my face cam, well, there's so many things that are working. The only thing that isn't working, and that is crucial for me to work, is the background being either blurred out or replaced by something else. I had a really fancy background. That was actually also my Twitter banner, almost. Or X banner, I should say. But it's not meant to be, unfortunately. So you will not see my face yet as I try to fix the issues for next time. Not that big of a deal though. It does mean we can put at the other intermission screen, which says we'll be back after a short break, which is going to happen right now, as the lobby will be restarted, not be remade. Actually, apparently didn't get the memo. And then we'll get on our way to the race. Until then, as usual, enjoy a little bit of music. And ooh, that wasn't meant to happen. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back. We are about to get underway again. The grid has been set, and that means in a few moments we'll be on our way to go for an epic 26-lap battle between, well, certainly Toppa and Lighty. 13 milliseconds apart. Then there is Jeremy Gallagher sitting in third, also under a 10th behind provision, of actual pole position, I should say. It's going to be a good one. I've got a good feeling about it. Let's see. Hope collisions are back on. Let me quickly check that, actually. They are on. That's the good news. Of course, set to reduce. But everything about the car can get damaged, as it is set to standard. The so-called damage rate, I believe. Let's find out. Of course, all drivers need to re-enable their car setups. Weather might be completely different from what they saw in the previous attempt, as the weather will always be set to dynamic, even when the lobby gets restarted. That's a crucial thing to keep in mind, especially if you're a driver or the engineer of the drivers. I've also got a few tips about my face cam from Ace, but unfortunately, while the software from Elgato, because I've got an Elgato MK2 Mark II face cam, the software itself really does a good job of separating the face from the background. Unfortunately, Discord doesn't do as much of a good job, because when I tried, my face was half invisible most of the time. And I couldn't even upload my own background because that requires me to pay. I'm not going to do that. Righto. Back on track, literally. As you can see right here. Selecting strategies and setups that what the drivers are doing. Hello Max. And thank you. I try. Your favorite commentator would almost have a face cam working. Trying to make it work for next week. I also saw that OBS lost the connection during the intermission, so that was the perfect time for it to lose connection. Because you didn't hear anything anyway. Might have heard a little bit of a break in the music. It doesn't really matter though, does it? Let me know in the chat though your predictions for the victor tonight. In terms of teams, of course. Is it going to be FVR at long last winning a race? Let's find out. Of course, there is still ZNT, and I think TTM with Lighty is in the mix tonight as well. TF10, a bit further back tonight. In P5 from the top of my head, and P10 or 11 even. With Timor, the better one from Daniel Gottschalk. So they are having a little bit of a challenge on their hands, but to be fair though, it's still very close in the top 5 at least. So it could still be anybody's game. This is Azerbaijan after all, and we still have walls very close to the track. Castle section is nasty. We've already seen at least 5 drivers lose part of their front wing. One driver crashed into the wall in turn 15. Another difficult corner to get right, and of course there are still turns 1 and 2, which are the usual overtaking spots. Turn 3 as well, of course, meaning that crashes are not unlikely. You look back at last week especially, but here we're gonna go. Let's find out what these drivers are going to do from the line, with Toppa on pole position, Lighty in second place, and here they go. Looks like a good start from Toppa at least. Lighty fighting for second place, Jeremy Gallagher behind, the neon other pink car of Isaac Lee trying to get past there to go onto the podium, but now he's side by side with Exafox. Can he go around the outside? There's absolute mayhem in the background. Several cars losing front wing there. Naskai, Jacob and Jans Frederik, I'm afraid, have lost several parts of their wings. The top is about them in an absolute mighty start, with Exafox now getting ahead of Isaac Lead into 4th place as they go around turn 3. Most cars have gone through safely, but at the back of the field some chaos ensued, and now Naskai has got even more problems. He's spun out of turn 3, I'm afraid. Not a great start there for the TTM, the second TTM driver, with Alan Belachuk also in trouble. Oh my goodness, as he tries to come back onto the track. Absolute chaos as the other cars barge past, and unsurprisingly a virtual safety car due to all of the chaos, as Toppa has already pulled quite the gap to Lighty already. I'm not sure if is that because of the virtual safety car or not. Nonetheless, a great start from him. It allows us to turn on the tire information, with the hard tires being the choice for most drivers. But that is quite something at the start of the race. Alan Benechuk trying to come back onto the track on turn 6, but nobody was going to give way, of course, because it was actually Alan who was supposed to give way to the other cars, and he didn't, so he just crashed into everybody else. Another great start there for ET8 with Mark Schluter in 11th and Alan Benechuk now in last. And the race commences once again. Lighty has closed the gap already. Exafox on the mediums with Mr. Hollywood, both the only two drivers to be on the medium tires, no softs obviously, and everybody else has started on the hards. It appears to be the best strategy according to these drivers. Tim Turnimo and Mark Schluter and Timur Selenkovic and Isaac Lead. Isaac is losing several positions now since the start of the race. Started 4th, now in P6 as Timur Selenkovic moves up to 5th place and now tries to chase down Exafox. DRS already enabled, of course. Now it's in lap 2 already. That's quite early, especially on this track. Lighty with a proper attack chance already. Daniel Gottschalk and Tristan Debecourt with a battle here for P9 and 10, with Tristan just getting ahead there of Daniel Gottschalk. TF10 and 10th and 5th at the moment, and ZNT's Tristan Debecourt getting past there for P9. Exafox on his medium tires, using the most of his bigger grip level compared to the rest, and Top has already pulled a 1 second gap to Lighty. So while Lighty was able to stay close on the straights with the DRS, he's not able to do it through the castle section. Ooh, another yellow flag and another virtual safety car, frankly. And now Mr. Hollywood getting a penalty for colliding with Pascal Ranieri during the VSC. There's a lot of chaos tonight. I did predict it, and it's happening in lap 1 and 2. It's promising for the rest of the session. I'm surprised there's no full safety car yet. But of course, that's not something Topper wants. He wants to get as far ahead as possible, and this is the moment for Lighty, of course, to close the gap to under 1 second with the rules of the virtual safety car. Isaac Lead in the background trying to keep his tires warm. Same goes for Adam Tristan as he chases down the pink car ahead of him. We see Tristan Debecourt who are going for a pit stop here. Might be some damage then to the car. Mark Schluter as well. And Mr. Hollywood has retired. Oh. He's crashed on the main straight. How has he done that? As Pascal now gets a 10-second time penalty in the pit lane. The virtual safety car obviously extended and still not a full safety car. Why? There we go. DRS enabled as Mr. Hollywood's car is still on the track. Question mark. We're going to see it from Alan's perspective. No, it's actually just disappeared. It was right here. Not sure what's going on, but the game really doesn't want to pull out the safety car. Might be reduced. That is strange, very strange indeed. Exafox is still trying to get past Jeremy Gallagnier as they go through the castle section for the 3rd time now. The race has been interrupted twice already. Cars at the back of the field on the medium tires right now. I think, well, Tristan is gone for the hards. That's interesting. Yeah, another set of hard tires then. 2 sets of hards. Close battle there between Lighty and Jeremy Gallagnier, but look at the gap from Topper to Lighty already, 1.6 seconds. Topper unthreatened at the moment. Let's hope his race doesn't get ruined again by a double stack, which is unlikely as he's now the first car. So whoever's teamed up with him might be screwed later down the line, but look at this. Jeremy Gallagnier is definitely on a roll, as is Exafox. He's going to move past as well. Is he going to make a double overtake before turn 1 as he gets the fastest lap of the race? He can't. He stays in 3rd for now. He's up to the podiums on his mediums. Plenty of battles going on everywhere. I wish we had multiple camera angles for multiple battles happening. We don't, so we've got to have to pick our battles carefully. For example, Adam Tristan getting very close to Isaac Lead close to Timur Zelenkovic for P5. He's already gone past Isaac Lead. Isaac had brilliant qualifying pace, but his race pace appears to be lacking a little bit for now. Maybe the hard tires aren't suited yet for him. With Alan Benachuk now with the fastest lap of the race. He's far behind. Pascal Ranieri in again for another pit stop. Not sure what the drivers in the back of the field are doing tonight. They're going for a very alternate strategy. The top 8, by the way, separated from the rest of the field. Daniel Gottschalk is not able to keep up. It's the championship leaders at the moment that are not having their optimal night. But it's still very early in the race. It's only lap 4 and Timur Zelenkovic is still well within a second of the car ahead. And all of those cars that are ahead of him are still within a second of the other cars. Including the race leader now, as Toppa has lost his 1 second advantage. Now it's Jeremy Gallagher and Axefox all ahead of Lighty, who's been demoted down to P4. He couldn't keep up with Toppa, but Jeremy Gallagher can. And he's now giving chase. DRS open. As Toppa now puts in the fastest lap. Scratch that. It's Timur Zelenkovic now with the fastest lap of the race. That means he's closing the gap fast now to Lighty. Axefox still chasing down Jeremy. Jeremy no longer within a second through the corners. Top is absolutely flying. He's so fast. It's almost mind-blowing. There goes Axefox, unsurprisingly, up into second place. The optimal grip from the mediums still working in his favor. Mark Schluter now with the fastest lap on also medium tires, but a little fresher. We all know Mark Schluter is quite fast. I think he's hoping for a safety car because of all the chaos. He went in for a gamble, I think. And now he's driving in the back of the field with his teammates. 14 and 15 for ET8 while they're fighting for second in the championship. It's not good. Their nearest rivals, NLR, currently in P6 and P10. ET8 on the back foot then. ZNT a mixed bag. Same goes for, well, no longer for FVR. Boba is in P8 and doing quite well. Staying with this group right here. We're following Axefox at the moment. And he's closed the gap to Toppa rapidly. Even through the corners. With his medium tires, he's very fast. Might be a new fastest lap of the race already. The arrest then for Axefox, and I wonder if Toppa is going to fight him. Because he knows eventually those mediums will drop off. And Toppa might just let him go. For the sake of not losing that much time. In the background we saw Timur Zelenkovic get past Lighty. Lighty has lost his pace all of a sudden. Axefox there as predicted with the fastest lap of the race. Timur now up into 4th place, chasing down ZNT's Jeremy Gallagher. After this 20 laps to go, so still plenty of opportunity for everybody to make up positions. Still plenty of time too for a safety car, by the way. Whoa, whoa, somebody's sinking through the field. That's Timur Zelenkovic. What's happened to him? Before turn 3 even happened, he's lost it all. Fighting for 4th and 3rd, now down to P8. And no longer within touching distance of the top 3. Due to the chaos, Lighty is now well outside of a second of the first 3 cars, and they can just escape further and further away. I was saying that this man and Toppa were going to have a scrap all race long. They were 30 milliseconds apart in qualifying, but in race pace, they're very different. And he's going to struggle to keep up with them now, as they all can tow one another in the top 3. And Lighty has got a whole slew of cars behind, towing on off of him actually. I think he lagged behind. That might explain it. I mean, why on earth would you crash on a straight? That would be a terrible shame for Timur. Now he's right ahead of his teammates, even though the difference is about 3 seconds between them. The only upside for him, and he's still within this group. We're following right here. Anand Kristan quickly closing the gap to Lighty. He's probably going to place an attack right here. We're also watching the top 3 on the timing screens to make sure we don't miss that battle. There goes Anand Kristan. There goes Boba as well, as he heads up into P6. And Kristan, of course, into 4th place. Now Lighty down to P5. Boba closing the gap to him. Isaac Lead is also very close to Boba once again. He wants to retake the position from him. Looks like he's not going to be close enough. Another pit stop there for Nesgai. Actually, it's his first pit stop. Very early, actually. These are very unusual strategies from these drivers. I mean, 6 laps in and switching the mediums, the hards for the mediums is a very interesting strategy, to be fair. Looks like Boba is a little slower than Isaac Lee through the middle sector at least, because Isaac is easily able to keep up with him, and Boba is slightly losing touch with the 2 cars ahead. Might suggest he's got less downforce than the other cars around him. But on the straights, look at this, he's closing the gap quite easily as Isaac Lee falls behind again. So it looks like a lot of different setups. Some have gone for a relatively high downforce setup to go through the corners well. Others have opted for a very strong car on the straight line because that's where you do the overtakes. But then again, we saw the difference between Lighty and Toppe, probably in terms of setup, where Toppe just pulled away in the corner so fast that there wasn't even an opportunity for Lighty to attack on the straights. There goes Lighty, speaking of who. Once again, up into 4th place, but the gap between 4th and 3rd already up to 3 seconds almost. Boba as well, keeping on it, making the move still. Now up into P5 and lining up Lighty now for a move. Lighty got a very poor exit, so poor in fact that he's getting swarmed all over. Boba's gone past. Is Adam Kristan going to make a move as well? Well, he thought about it. Lighty was defending the inside, but no opportunities there. Not close enough for the NLR driver there. Stays in 6th now. Meanwhile, the top 3 is still looking relatively stable. Exafox is still leading from Toppe and Jeremy Gallagher. Of course, at this point, I think the hard tires are going to be a little bit better. 7 laps in. Those mediums might last until lap, well, what will it be? 11, 12 maybe? I think in terms of tire life, both tires are very equal on this track, because there's very few high-speed corners. There's only about 5 or 5-ish, 6, 5 actually, 5 high-speed corners. No, 6. It's the follow-up 4 of turn 17 through 20, and then of course 13 and 14. That means 6 corners, and there goes Toppe then. He's going to re-overtake the race leader and become that race leader himself. Back into P1 he goes. Exafox now behind. I think he wants to be in first when the pit stops happen, just to ensure he doesn't double stack with Lighty, or sorry, Exafox, in case they've accidentally gone into the same pit box. I mean, I wouldn't mind world cars as much if they were able to choose which pit box they would be in. That would be a very useful feature. Right now, it's just depending too much on luck. And we saw it last week. It really didn't work out for some drivers, as they were stuck behind somebody else who wasn't even their teammate in the pit stop. Or sorry, in the pit box. Completely ruined, especially this man's race, as he was fighting for the lead. As he does so now. Exafox having a little bit of a look. Lighty and Boba also. Boba having a little bit of a look. Ooh. There was no touch and go there, but they were very close to it. Probably tight fighting right here. Adam Kristan also pretty much within the car of the FDR driver. But a little bit wide going to the corner there. But all is still well, it seems. And then Kristan behind. These are the battles we want to keep our eye on. It's Daniel Gottschalk also who tries to close the gap. He's within 1.7 seconds. Through the corners, he's getting an awful lot closer. But then, of course, comes the DRS zone. And that's where he loses it all. You can see the gap increasing already. He doesn't have any slipstream. He's too far away. Exafox now down to 3rd. Jeremy Gallagher making another move on Toppe, and now he's the race leader as he goes into turn 1. There's Lighty, there we go. Whoa, overtaken by 3 cars from 4th to 7th, and Kristan on the inside in turn 1. Oh, there's a collision! A major incident between Lighty and Adam Kristan. I mean, I'm not sure what exactly happened there? And there's a full-on safety car. You can see it exiting from the pit lane. I know it says in the top left virtual safety car, but you can see the yellow dot on the track. Full course safety car because of the pretty big incident between Lighty and Adam Kristan. I'm not sure what happened there. Lighty tapped Adam Kristan around. Very strange incident. Neither driver is going to be too happy, but I don't think either of them could do anything about it. If anything, first opinions, that would be a racing incident. As bad as it looked, neither driver really was at fault there, I think. I was about to scream about how was that a virtual safety car. Thankfully it wasn't. Full course safety car. It's good news for the drivers far behind. It's bad news for the top three. They had a pretty sizable lead to 4th place. And now everybody's going to have to box. Mediums will last to the end. 16 laps. That's should be pretty doable. And therefore those on the hards, it's not going to be many, but those on the hards might be slower then. There they all go. Now, Topper is going to have to pray. He isn't in the same pit box as Jeremy Gallagher. In fact, he's decided to not take the risk. He continues onwards. Topper braves it out for some reason. He can't shake off the trauma of last week of double stacking with else. Let's see who's it happening to. Not these two at least. But I'm sure somebody is going to be stuck behind someone else. Here so far, it's going off quite safely. Adam Kristan with a fresh wing and soft tires, interestingly, for the next 14 laps when the safety car comes in, because that's the most likely amount of laps we'll have remaining. There is, I believe, Lighty. No, that was Tim Tornimo, actually, going in for a pit stop. But nobody this time, thankfully, has suffered from the double stack issue with the world cars. And the top 4, frankly, Topper, Boba, Zelenkovic and Gottschalk have stayed out. Now this is interesting, because that means both FVR drivers are taking a big risk, and so do the championship leaders. Timur Zelenkovic, Daniel Gottschalk, both for TF10. Now 3rd and 4th. Of course, this is a good opportunity for them to go to the podium. Well, they have 10 lap old hard tires and they still have to pit. So I think they gamble on another safety car very quickly. Because if that happens, well, they will still fall to the back of the field, to be fair. Very interesting. Yes, Lighty boxed. I mean, it shows 0 lap tire life, so he did. And frankly, he didn't lose a lot of positions. Neither did Adam, actually. They were around the same position before they boxed. Both had damaged cars. Adam's front wing is back in one piece. Interesting. I'm not sure what the thought process is behind the top 4's reasoning to stay out. Are they going to go in now then? That would bring them down to the back of the field. So, Topper from Boba, Zelenkovic, Gottschalk. It looks like they are not going to come in. Nevio not being on live. Interesting. It also becomes cloudy. Ah, well, that explains something. It suddenly became very cloudy quickly. I see. So might this mean that there will be rain? It also explains why Max in the chat said even with rain, mediums go to the end now. Still though, it's his drivers who have decided to stay out. That could be interesting. Azerbaijan in wet conditions. The weather changed over the course of one lap. That was very rapid. It was sunny on lap 11. Now at lap 12 it's all cloudy. It's still dry though, but it looks like rain might be on the horizon. Changeable conditions. That will most definitely explain the reasoning behind the top 4 staying out. They will have the oldest tires, but if the rain falls fast, they will still have the benefit of track position. I play on TF10 battling for track position too, with cars behind. I'm afraid they've got no choice. I mean, Jeremy is behind, he's very fast, he's even on the mediums now, and I think Jeremy will be passed in no time. I think this man might be the main threat for the top 4. Exafox on one lap all hards. Isaac Lead also fast, but it's Adam Christown as well. It might be a problem. You'll want to have a word with Lighty on track. Safety car in this lap. It's lap 12, we're about halfway in the race. And rain inbound question mark. That's the big one. The weather has shifted from sunny to very cloudy. So this could be extremely interesting. I should really get my telemetry software to work on this game. So I could use it to make weather predictions. That would be very useful. I'll get it done for next week alongside my facecam fix. That's a nice word to say, by the way. Facecam fix. Right then, Topper still as race leader. He's been through most of the race. Alongside Jeremy, of course, and Exafox. Just waiting for him to get underway. And there he goes. Topper on his way from Boba, from Zelenkovic, from Gottschalk. And Jeremy Gallagher already making moves. Or he was about to. He was less than a tenth behind Daniel Gottschalk, but the interesting thing was it probably was before the finish line, so he couldn't overtake. Had to slot in behind, stays in P5. Through the corners, he is absolutely flying. He gets a good exit, and this is the moment where he can attack. Daniel Gottschalk is the first that might be taken by Gallagher. However, a bit too far away, and all the cars stay within a very long train. So far, everybody has gotten away safely. Mr. Hollywood, of course, still the only retirement. On track, literally, as he crashed on the main straight somehow. Oh, there goes Jeremy Gallagher in turn 5. Impressive. Ooh, thankfully, Gottschalk left him alive. And now he's under attack from Exafox as well. Where's Exafox going to go? Where to go? It was at the outside of turn 7. That's absolutely not an overtaking spot. And everybody's trying to get past each other right now. Adam Christown has gotten past his... his collision, his rival, so to say, going up to P8. And Jeremy Gallagher now right in between the 4 cars that have decided to stay out. Now the big question is, when is the rain gonna fall? Is it before Jeremy retakes the lead or after? And I think FVR is badly hoping it's going to happen before that. But still, even with the rain falling down, it won't be intermediate conditions straight away, most likely. And the mediums will have more grip when the track gets greasy. Especially with those hard tires getting old. They've taken an enormous gamble. Let's see if it pays off. Exafox now moving past Daniel Gottschalk. Here comes Jeremy Gallagher into turn 1. DRS gets re-enabled. Ooh, a bit of a wobbly, leggy moment there from Boba. Zelenkovic trying to get past Boba as well. He's got to attack, otherwise he'll be swallowed by the quick flying Jeremy Gallagher. In fact, they're already side by side as Jeremy Gallagher gets past in turn 2 with the DRS chasing down now the 1 and 2 FVR cars right there. You can see them, pink and blue. 1 and 2. Adam Christown now up into 7th place, past Isaac Lead as well. The soft tires, of course, will be the grippiest by far when the rain falls, but the tire life is very limited, so he gambles on a very quick rain shower. And there it is. The rain is falling. Now we're going to find out who's gambled best. When will the track become intermediate condition? It's become the battle of the minds. And Jeremy is still much faster than the cars ahead now that the track is getting slightly greasy. Boba and Topper will be gliding around even more, but Boba is holding up Jeremy Gallagher. If he can make sure that Jeremy stays outside of 1 second, then Topper might still be able to go away a bit further in the distance. So far, though, it looks like the staying out strategy is worked out brilliantly for both TF10 and FVR. Daniel Gottschalk in P6, Adam Christan right behind, but there's Jeremy Gagnon on the freshest mediums in the top 3 as he now goes past Boba into second place. Both will have DRS, and Jeremy is quickly closing the gap to the race leader. And now the big question is, when are people going to come in for inters? Double stacks imminent indeed. This could be a nightmare for some drivers, as the intermediate swap means double stacking for sure. Whoa, side by side in turn 2 as Jeremy Gagnon takes the lead from a pit stop. And another safety car! A safety car as Alan Benachuk is crushed out of turn 1. This changes everything, and the strategy of those who stay it out is, well, I wouldn't say in ruins, because now at least they can keep their position. So, is it ruined? I do not know. But it allows Jeremy to stay in the lead. And now this is the question. What do you do? Do you go for the inters? Do you stay out? How quickly will the track become wet? Topper and Boba that have at least kept their second and third position. Timur Zelenkovic is held out as well. Adam Christan has made up some good progress. I think him going, he had to pit, of course, because of his front wing. He's gone up to P6 before the safety car came out. And the cars ahead of him are lucky that the safety car came out, because I'm certain he would have made up many more positions in these conditions. The soft tires at the moment are by far the best. Followed by, of course, those fresh mediums, and then Exofox's hards, and then, only then, those hard tires of Topper, Boba, Zelenkovic and Gottschalk. Gottschalk already down to 9th. Surely you go inters now, they say in the chat. I wonder. Looks like Jeremy is certainly going to head in. Yep, looks like they are. A whole train of cars entering the pit box. Oh, Timur Zelenkovic doesn't want to take any risk of double stacking. Let's see who's going to be victimized. Topper isn't, nor is Jeremy. Is Boba. Oh, it's Timur Zelenkovic. He is going to be stuck. It's 10 cars, or sorry, 8 cars that are lucky potentially, and 8 cars that are going to be unlucky. It's 50-50 at the moment with 2 cars out. And everybody is onto the mediums. Now, let's see what happens. Who has fallen victim? Zelenkovic now down to P6. Daniel Gottschalk gained a position due to the double stack shenanigans. Exofox lost a lot of positions. He was the big victim in the double stacking, and he's now down to 11th. He was in 5th or 4th, remember? And here he is now. Stuck behind Baku. Did I say in mediums? I meant to say inters. I think I said inters. You guys should watch it back. I will stand corrected if I said mediums. Otherwise, 8 will have to stand corrected. Either way, Jeremy Gagnon has inherited the race lead due to his, well, I would say his strategy did work out after all. Everybody on the inters, the track is very wet, as you can see. Let's follow some from top of there. Some puddles starting to appear. I'd say right now it still should just barely be dry conditions. It's mashing the throttle. Interestingly. Some of the safety cars are hurrying up, that's for sure. Alright, I stand corrected. Everybody onto the mediums. I shouldn't have said that one. Everybody onto the inters, which is actually the medium wet tire. There we go. Trying to be the smart man here. It's the medium wet. Ooh, what's going on in the back? Jacob has dropped positions. The good news for them is that EVE will not score points, but neither will they at the moment. Jacob is the only driver who will not score points tonight. Ooh, Exafox got himself some front wing damage. And now he's at the back of the field. ABS is having a nightmare race now. Exafox was doing so well. From inters to inters. Just confirming I said that correctly. "17 laps in. We've had 2 virtual safety cars. We've got 2 full course safety cars now. Let's see whether this is going to be the last one or not. The conditions have changed fast. It's interconditions at the very least. Now the question is, will the rain increase? Will the full wets come out? We've already had 1 full wet race with Great Britain, as in full intermediate conditions. That's where Mark Schluter took his first win for the team. But TF10 came out on top with Ryan Gropp and Lucas Beisner. Right now it looks like FVR is coming out best. They've, especially Boba, done well on the strategy. I think for top it wouldn't really have mattered whether he would have come in or not with his pace. Jeremy Gallagher's got more or less the same pace as he had. And Jeremy is still ahead. But I think for Boba to stay out was a smart move. Same was for Daniel Gottschalk, Timur Zelenkovic as well. You always like to see a good strategy game, and tonight Azerbaijan has provided. Safety car in. Jeremy Gallagher now leads the field from top. Boba, Kristan leads Zelenkovic, Leite, Gottschalk, Schluter and Bekoor. Now the big question is, can Gallagher keep Topper behind? He's going to be extremely eager to get his win in. He's been screwed over last time while fighting for it. And the team needs the points badly. Now with 2 cars in the top 3, I'm sure they will defend hard. They are way too low in the standings for their own good. It doesn't reflect their pace, we all know it. As they wait for Jeremy Gallagher to get underway, and underway he gets. As we recommence the race once again, approaching lap 18, and there goes Isaac Leeds on Adam Kristan with a mighty dive bomb, nearly tipping Boba on the back. He nearly lost control of the car, it was so incredibly close. Adam Kristan wants the position back, side by side in turn 2, and Adam Kristan for now ahead. He was a little bit asleep. Isaac Leeds now in the very close slipstream, and there goes Toppe. Oh, a bit of a touch there from the 2 leaders. Isaac Leeds on the inside once again, but he's not got no room to make the move. Adam carried a little bit more speed, and Toppe goes round the outside in turn 4. That is a masterclass of rain overtaking, wet overtaking, brilliantly done there from Toppe to retake the lead. Now the big question is, can he pull away? Boba is his backup as he tries to attack the Frenchman in second place as well. Is he able to keep up though? In terms of race pace, Boba has struggled a little bit in qualifying as well. Now in rainy conditions, can he keep up with the best? Adam Kristan is right behind. Isaac Leeds has tried to take the man in the NLR car, but he couldn't. And the gap now is a little bit too big. There's no DRS, of course, don't forget that. And look at Toppe's pace. He has done it. He's made the move, and he's going to try and disappear into the distance while keeping his tires alive. Shouldn't be much of an issue with only 8 laps remaining. There comes Boba on Jeremy Gallagher. FVR wants the maximum points. This is their biggest opportunity in Azerbaijan, with the championship leaders on the back foot. Timur Zelenkovic overtaking Leite and Isaac Leeds. There goes Boba into turn 1. Oh, there's a tap. We saw some debris flying, but I think the front wing is still okay. Jeremy Gallagher in third now. Timur Zelenkovic, he knows what is at stake for his team. He knows while FVR is down in the standings in terms of race pace, they are the closest rivals. And all he has to do now is stay with the top 4 to have any shot at winning. There comes Isaac Leet on the inside of Lighty. Lighty, oh, nearly gets squeezed into the wall. And there's Daniel Gottschalk as well. Oh, it's almost 3 wide through turn 4. It's absolute mayhem at the middle of the field. Daniel Gottschalk and Isaac Leet. Lighty, look at this. In turns 5 and 6. Not usually where you want to overtake, but they're giving them all. A run for their money. That's what they're giving each other. Mark Schluter is also making up positions fast here in the rainy conditions. We've seen him being very quick in Great Britain. This is where he absolutely excels, and he's showing it. He's now hunting down Daniel Gottschalk for P7. But TF10 doesn't want another ETA car, especially the same one, to overtake them again, I'm sure. Now the top 5 is separated from the rest. And Toppa is separated from everybody. 2 seconds now, the gap. Oh, a yellow flag for Jacob now. And Naskai into the wall. Is this going to be under safety car then? It looks like it's not going to happen. Where is Naskai? There he is. 1 TTM car out. Both front wheels off, interestingly. And Jacob without the front wing. I think Naskai and Jacob had collided earlier, and then Naskai crashed into the wall because he had no more grip. No safety car then. The battle for second place is still close. Same goes for P9 and 10. And Isaac Leet is losing all positions now. Tristan Debecour a little bit deep into turn 1, but still ahead of the CPI driver. ZNT also needs to pull up their game now. Jeremy in 3rd and Tristan in 9th. It needs to be better than that. There's Mark Schluter, the Rainmaster. Now on Lighty. Almost there. It was almost side by side. Oh, Lighty too deep into the corner. We saw a bit of debris flying off there. Does he have damage? Looks like at least not visually. Lighty now down to 8th and Mark Schluter up into P7. Then there's Daniel Gottschalk and then a 2.2 second gap to the next car. But we know the German has got it in him to pull it off. He can do it. He can at least, well, I might be able to claim second place, but he needs to get past Daniel quick. Boba still in second, hunted down by Jeremy Gallagher. FVR 1 and 2. It's what they need. The first 3 rounds had been a disaster for them in many different ways. They are in the midfield of the standings, and right now 1 and 2, the maximum amount of points you can take. I do not know who's got the fastest lap. Would be surprised if it actually was Toppa. But look at the gap, 3.5 seconds. Toppa's just dominating right now. Absolutely flying. There's no other words to describe it. There comes Adam Tristan. He could indirectly help out FVR to a 1-2 if he goes and harass Jeremy Gallagher. He's not close enough. Jeremy Gallagher, though, does get quite close to Boba. Not close enough, though. Mark Schluter now up into P6. He's got a 2.2 second gap to cover. And to be a big challenge. But if anybody's up for the challenge, it's him. Mark Schluter in P6. Daniel Gottschalk giving the chase. Is he going to attack? He's actually... Oh, he had a look. Although the track was a little bit too short there before turn 3 happened to make the move. He wisely slotted in behind. Probably a smart thing to do. Things are calming down a little bit, for now at least. We've got 3 drivers, fighting for second place. As Top has just disappeared in the distance into the fog. The rain has definitely gone a lot heavier. I think we're not too far away from full wet conditions, but switching tires right now would not be smart. Probably best to hold out on the inters now. I think actually the track is wet enough for full wet now. But it's difficult to judge. 5 laps to go. Boba is defending an FER 1-2 from Galanier and Kristan. And Zelenkovic. Mark Schluter is not able to close the gap. There's simply too much slipstream from the cars ahead, but he's definitely pulling away from the cars behind. So at least that will be a proper result for ET8 as his teammate Banachuk is out. No points then for EVE or TGF tonight. Jans Verdillik, the last car in line and far behind the rest. There comes Tim Ternimo on Isaac Leet. Isaac Leet now down to 11th. It looks like the wet conditions do not suit this man. He actually comes in for a pit stop. I do not know why. Jans Verdillik is coming in as well. Both. Oh, they're going for the full wets. Oh, Jans Verdillik. That's not what you want. 10-second penalty. Looks like Isaac Leeds going for an all or nothing approach. He's got a huge gap to cover though. Full wet tires for both CPI cars. Now they've got 4.5 laps to make it work. I wonder if it's going to work. They need to be 4 seconds a lap quicker to catch the next car. I think... Oof. It's not going to work. I think they had nothing to lose. I think that was their approach. It's too little too late. I mean, why not? Adam Kristan. Very close now to Jeremy Galanier. Zelenkovic still within reach as well. Mark Schluter remains at 2.5 seconds. Ooh, those curbs are very slippery. But they're still attacking those curbs quite heavily, I have to admit. Boba has shaken off Galanier for the time being. It looks like the wetter it is, the better Boba becomes. His car suits the wet conditions just fine. Jeremy Galanier is properly struggling now, and Kristan gets closer and closer and closer. Is he gonna go for a move in turn 1? Beautiful helicopter view as we approach the first corner, but he's too far back. And with no DRS and wet conditions, it's a risk to overtake into turn 1. Oh, there he goes in turn 2, actually. He's gonna go for it now. Something, Jeremy, I don't think he expected it. But there he goes, Adam Kristan into 3rd place, and Lighty in... Oh, he's crashed somewhere. He's crashed into turn... What's it? Turn 2. He's out. That's the 2nd TTM driver, the man on the front row. And no points for TTM either. A major disaster for the team. What happened there? A battle? Loss of control? That was absolutely no good. Jeremy Galanier has been overtaken by Timur Zelenkovic as well. Zelenkovic fighting for P3 right now. At least one TF 10 car might come onto the podium. But he's only got a handful of laps to do it. Jans Verdillik. He's outbroken himself. He's gone into the runoff area in turn 3. Those full wet tires are definitely not working. They're much slower, in fact, than the intermediates. CPI in the mud, but it's better for them to finish, I think, than to retire. Because if they retire now, they will not score points. If they finish, 12th and 13th are still worth any points. Not much, but it's still better than no points. Ooh, Kristan drifting through the corner. Zelenkovic on his tail. Closing in, and Mark Schluter has closed in as well. The Rainmaster can see P3 just ahead. Lap 24 now. The lead of the race is out of touch. Boba is just barely out of reach as Timur Zelenkovic takes 3rd position from Kristan. Jeremy Galanier still behind, and Mark Schluter has closed the 2.5 second gap to this group. Once again proving how fast he can be in the rain. Daniel Gottschalk and Tristan Debekou in the meanwhile fighting for P7. 4 seconds behind Mark Schluter right there. There comes Tristan Debekou. A little bit of a look. Didn't go for it though. Probably the wisest thing to do. Axefox still very close behind Tim Ternimo as well for P9 and P10. It looks like it. Ooh, Tristan and Gottschalk are having a tight battle there. He's pushing the German through the corners, the Frenchman is. In the background. Oh, that was nearly Exafox in the wall. And Tim Tornimo actually, I think, gave the position to Exafox there, as he thought his move was not on. If so, that's a very sportsman move there. Some drivers are very aggressive here. It looks like Tim Tornimo gets the sportsmanship prize for now. Woo! Woo! Adam! That was way too close for comfort. Nearly tapped Timur there. Might have damaged his own front wing and put Timur in the wall, but that didn't happen. Thankfully, he was able to brake just in time. And now, just over 2 laps remain. 5 seconds between Toppa and Boba, but Boba doesn't care. He's got second place in his hands for the team. It doesn't matter what the drivers finish for FVR as long as they finish 1 and 2. All Toppa has to do now is bring the car home. No crazy moves. No risks. 5 seconds is a big gap in this series. There comes Mark Schluter. Oh, the outside! Tapping collisions happening everywhere. Jeremy doesn't want him to get past. But I think there was more debris flying off than there actually was. And Mark Schluter has to slot in behind the Frenchman once again. Trying the inside then. No, not close enough yet. He now knows Jeremy is going to defend very heavily. So he's going to try a different approach. Toppa has had damage. Well, it doesn't really show. His pace with damage in wet conditions is absolutely superior. It definitely made his car lighter, that's for sure. Probably is helping him a little bit. Now, Jeremy's defending has caused him to lose connection to the 2 cars ahead. It's also bad news for Mark Schluter, of course, who tries to chase down a podium in the wet conditions. But there's only 1.5 lap remaining, a little less than that actually. And Timur Zelenkovic is starting to put the pressure on Boba. Boba still got that second place firmly in his hands. But any tiny mistake can cost him. He needs to keep the car very, very straight, very stable. The race leader now, starting the final lap of the race, or he's about to. And Mark Schluter, in the meanwhile, is gonna go for the move on Jeremy Gallagher, trying to go on the inside, and there he is. Ahead of Jeremy, coming home onto the final lap of the race. There goes Boba. Oh, Timur Zelenkovic on the offensive. Boba on the inside in turn 1, side by side still. Boba doesn't want to lose the 1-2, so he's got the inside line in turn 2, and Timur has to yield. And now he comes under pressure. Boba goes defensive immediately, but Timur's got better speed out of the corner. Now it's a drag race, and Boba's got the straight line speed, as we already saw before. And he therefore stays ahead of Zelenkovic for now, but it is getting very close. Not only Zelenkovic is still there to take the spoils in second place, but there's Tristan, Schluter and Gallagher as well. Every one of them wants to take that position. They all want to finish in the podium. And Boba has got it all to lose now. Is he going to do everything it takes to take a 1-2? I wonder. Now Tristan and Mark Schluter fighting for a position almost side by side in the castle there with Zelenkovic as well. If Schluter can get past here, there's every chance for him to get into the podium, but it's a little bit too far away. Zelenkovic isn't though. I think he's charging his battery come the main straight. 7.5 seconds now between Toppa and Boba. Toppa is untouchable, but Boba definitely isn't. He needs one more corner to get through, and then he'll have his straight line advantage, I think. Unless Zelenkovic has got more battery. We'll find out very soon. Cristandio, though much closer to Zelenkovic than Zelenkovic is to Boba. He might actually lose his podium, but we're gonna have to watch the race winners. I keep an eye in the mini-app as Toppa finally wins his race here And Krestan is getting closer and closer. There goes Zelenkovic. Who's going to take second place? It might be Zelenkovic. And Boba finishes P5. Disaster on the very final straight. From seconds to fifth. In a matter of meters. And look at how close they have finished. There's not a 1-2 for FVR. But it's still many points for the team. As Zelenkovic finishes in second. Krestan finishes in third, Schluter in fourth, and Boba P5. Oh man. He didn't have enough battery to fight on the main straight. But still, you've gotta admire his speed. Oh, Jeremy Gallagher retires too early. It's still an issue in the game. But I finished P6. Got to keep that one in mind. Wow. Boba will be bitterly disappointed. Lost second place by no fault of his own. He just didn't have the speed. Everybody else behind him had charged batteries apparently. I will not know because I couldn't see the battery levels, but man, he must feel heartbroken. Right then, final results with Toppe, the best of them all. Zelenkovic in second, Krestan in third. If this thing could please go away, thank you. Mark Schluter from 12th to 4th, the Rainmaster striking again and the fastest lap as well, so an extra point for him. Boba in P5 from 9th, still not too bad. Gottschalk in P6 from 10th, so still good points for TF10. Their gap at least will not be reduced by that much. Especially compared to their nearest rivals, ET8 and NLR. Only FVR actually closes the gap, I think. Tristan Debecour in P7 from 13th. Good job. Axefox will be disappointed in P8. The main issue for him was the double stack, of course. Pascal Ranielli in P9. We haven't seen a lot from him, but still good points for ABS. Tinternemo P10. Then both CPI drivers in 11th and 12th. And actually, that should be 12th and 13th as Gallagher finished P6. So Gottschalk 7th, Debecour P8, Axefox 9th, Ranielli P10, Ternemo P11, Isaac Lead P12, and then Jans Verdillik P13. The non-finishers being both TTM drivers of Lighty and Naskai, Jacob, Alan Benachuk, and Mr. Hollywood. Righto! Quite the finale there. And well, despite there being two safety cars, the driving was a whole lot cleaner, I think. It wasn't as extraordinarily chaotic as it was last week. Of course, there's still some safety car-ish things that happened, but still, not bad. Let's see if the top three is willing to give us some insights into the race. And that, of course, would be Toppe. It would be Zelenkovic. It would also be Adam Krestan. I would have to join the commentary box, otherwise it will not be a very useful thing to do. Let's see if they are willing to give us some insight on what happened tonight. Especially when the rain came in. Of course, Toppe and a few others decided to stay out. Zelenkovic didn't. I wonder what they think was the best strategy. Actually, Zelenkovic did stay out. Correction. It was Gallagher that didn't stay out. Not the 1-2 FVR we're hoping for. Nonetheless, some strong points. I'm trying to find a quick link to the points, actually. Let's see. Toppe is going to give an interview. That's excellent. Which rulebook should I consult? I think I should actually consult the administrative rulebook. Come on, open it for me, please. Thank you very much. Results and standings. there we go. Yeah, 20 points for P5 and 35 for P1 is a good haul of points there for FVR. Speaking of FVR, we can actually drag in Toppe, as he's finally done it. Race winner, Toppe, congratulations, you've done it. You've pulled a mighty gap in the wet conditions. You've led most of the race. Was this a walk in the park for you?
Böba is the GOAT.
Well, those were the wise words from Toppe. GG. It was the shortest interview I've ever had. Unless he actually disconnected by accident. Not sure what's going on. Can't even see myself talking in the Discord anymore. Either way, looks like that was all, folks. The shortest interview in history of interviews. Thank you, Toppe, for your wise words. And congratulations on the win. I only had half a chance of saying it, but still. Thank you so much for joining me as well in the chat. All the support, as usual, much, much appreciated. Let's have a little look at the calendar before we part ways. As the next time round, we'll have the Mystery Grand Prix. And if I see that correctly on my very tiny preview screen in OBS, that is actually next week. I think so. Let me see if I can pull up a bigger version of the calendar. If it cooperates, of course. It is not. Actually, it is next week. Yes, September 6th is actually next Friday. I'm not sure if I'm actually there because I've got something else going on that night. Either way, looking forward to see which track it's going to be. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever you are. Thank you so much for joining me once again. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, of course, and we'll see you next time, same place, same time as usual. Until then, goodbye.